This week we've had 3 blogs, 3 announcements from Sorare where they've detailed a lot more of what was foreshadowed in the winter gameplay update. How the new MLS competitions, formats, thresholds, all that thing is going to work, as well as the change to XP and divisions and what we're going to expect from the J&K early access. In the video today we're going to break down the announcements, what are the main takeaways, what are the main bits of information that we see here, as well as any early strategy or extra kind of detail that we can see in these announcements we'll try and pick out when we possibly can. At any point in the video, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and get into the comment section and let me know what your initial take, what was your first reaction when going through the announcement, good, bad, terrible, amazing, or whatever it might have been. And also let me know any thoughts and feelings about what we pick over in the video today, of course. And yeah, let's just go and get stuck straight into it. And we're going to get stuck in right to the main course here with the MLS launch. So all the details here about how the divisions are going to work, when the cards come out, the prize pools, everything that we need to know has been detailed here, and they did promise that in this announcement, it must be said. Early access gets the same treatment that we've seen, across Europe already this season. You get a 5% chance to win a second MLS card for free, 95% chance you're going to get some MLS Essence. And MLS Essence, like I've mentioned it already on the channel in the previous 2 MLS videos we've done talking about this, where MLS cards, Essence, everything about that competition now, that competition on Sorare is completely siloed in itself, in terms of their purpose, their use, and their place overall in the landscape. So straight away off the bat, you're going to be getting MLS Essence flooding into your card factory. And, depending on how your Essence is currently populated right now, there's going to be some big decisions to be made very quickly about teams, your boxes you're opening, crafting opportunities, everything to do around that as soon as these cards come out, which is going to be interesting to see how people go. And if anyone is unsatisfied that they get an MLS card after having a hugely European based one or something, I don't know. But in any case, it's good for those guys that are just going MLS centric, because they can just, fill that card factory up. And if, depending on how much Essence they're pulling, and how many cards they're willing to buy, that might just be a lovely, loyalty card kind of system. You buy 19 coffees, get the 20th one for free kind of vibe. Just because of the odds, 5% obviously. Or maybe for 2, actually, once you get to the 20 mark, because you should have your 1 free card, and then all the Essence you've had along the way is certainly going to be craftable, you would think, so... and watch out as the promotion goes, is at the discretion of Sorare in terms of the quality of card, the amount of Essence, and all that good stuff. Number 1 serials will be available right off the bat, but no jersey mints. They'll be keeping them for a special event, which should be quite fun. Division battle. Now, really excited about this, and I think they should have done this at the beginning of the European season, rather than the abstract kind of gallery lineup strength valuation-y thing that they did. No one really knows what they did, but this is way better. One kind of jamboree, destruction derby level, winner takes all kind of vibe. Multi-entry again, obviously, for all 3 of your lineups, and after game week 1, essentially, the leaderboard will be determined from your positions on the first game week, which is good fun. I think that'll be lovely to see. Everyone's got a puncher's chance. Match day 1 is going to be an absolute free-for-all. There's no form established. No one's got a hot take on jammy set-piece takers or the favourable fixtures necessarily. Yes, there might be some that are forecastable, don't get me wrong, but match day 1 is just always one of those days where really anything could happen. Home advantage away, upsets, that kind of thing. So anyone could end up anywhere, and it could be quite funny to see if a power stack falls and maybe some of the budget guys do a bit better than average, over the course of what will be the season ahead. Division 1 could start out to be quite fun, so I like that. I'm all about it. And then this is the main course here of the announcements this week, the MLS one. This is the hot topic. This is the special sauce that everyone has been waiting to get their hands on and see how it's actually built. Now, as you can see here, we've got 2 kind of progress bar style things that are going to be added to the dashboard for MLS Limited and MLS Rare. Now, I'm hoping to get a bit more clarity in reading this, okay, because from listening to the data show and from listening to Haber, they both seem to be quite convinced that you will get each thing on each square as it comes to you. Your target points and rewards can increase each game week. There are 5 targets, each associated with a fixed cash reward. Each time you hit a level, you move to the next hot street target. The next game week will challenge you with the next level, higher target, but also bigger cash rewards. Keep hitting the target and you'll keep climbing. Not claiming, climbing. If you reach the top streak level, you'll earn the massive reward possible. After that, your streak will reset, allowing you to start over and climb the levels again. Miss the target, no worries, you'll restart at level 1. have an hour shot with the streak. If you skip a game week and MLS is open, you don't submit a lineup, you reset to level 1. Here's a breakdown of the different levels. Please note the indication of market credits, yada yada, is valid for 14 days. Managers competing, they've got their own thing. We'll look at that in a second. Yeah, I don't see any explicit, you will get this paid out. I see this more like the weakest link, where it's like, kind of like Essence. When do you craft it? When do you pull it? I don't think this is guaranteed on a game week to game week basis. Like, I don't think everyone that hits with 5 in seasons, 420 points at rare, 388 at limited gets that unless they cash it. I might be wrong, but I don't see where it explicitly says that. Will be the first season-long mission available in your lobby, making everything crystal clear. You can enter a team in MLS in season, yada yada. The lobby, 5 in season, and you reach the required target. You'll earn the associated cash reward. Okay, maybe that covers it. You can have multiple chances to hit the target thanks to the different teams, but can only claim the reward once per scarcity. That does kind of make it clearer, doesn't it? But I don't think it's explicit. Do they need to make it explicit? Maybe not. But for me, I think that I need that explicitly said, because that's one thing I'm unclear on, I suppose. The golden goal one is fun, right? So this is like a jackpot situation, and it's also in a rollover type situation, where every game week the points target doesn't get hit, they add more money to the pot, and when it is hit, the pot is divided by however many people hit it. This is like a leveled up version of what we've seen already in the Champion Euro Best of Europe series, where they did it for all the free to play modes for like £20,000, and everyone won like £3 or something, which was decent fun. So it's just a much more permanent fixture up here. Huge prizes associated, and I don't know if it reaches like an upper limit or if it will just continue to roll over until they move that competition on. Yeah, I don't see any numbers that say it has an initial target. Pot resets to 750. If no one hits the target, the pot increases by 750 each game week. Once won, it resets. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about a limit, so it will stop at 5k or 10k or anything like that. So that's fun for those guys, I suppose. But it depends on the leaderboard, on the prize pool as well, because this is all alongside, this is all parallel to what we'll be running. You've got an example here of what MLS in-season rare is going to look like, and we've got a real difference in the prize pool now. There's no boxes, we get guaranteed positions and amounts for probably XP, although that's not overly detailed right there. Maybe it's a varying amount on a bit of RNG perhaps, but with the essence it's all kind of detailed there quite firmly, and you can see the prize positions on cash. I don't think it's that generous considering the amount of lineups that will be entered into, or could be entered into this. It's maybe a bit of an interesting factor now. So yeah, everything's there. There's a long tail, so 50% of the leaderboard is always going to be collecting something. XP in theory should make you better, so then you should finish higher. Essence should get you better cards, which in theory should help you get higher. So I think, like, again, there will be more of a strategy on your essence crafting now. Like the tier 5 plus turn and burn is still going to be popular, but I think for, let's say, strategic players, I think there's going to be a different strategy coming with this, and we'll talk about that when we get to the prize pool. It's going to be a red hot season. I think overall this is like a solid announcement, like quite comprehensive. There's a lot of care and attention given to it. When we come to look at the actual prize pool itself, we can see what is kind of detailed here. And I think rare and limited is where most people are paying attention. This is the change we've had to limited and classic in MLS, which is probably one of the most discussed elements of this. And again, like, I really do think this is going to make a big change into crafting strategies now, because with free lineups, if you're looking to go into any of these divisions with free lineups, you're obviously thinking yourself competitive. And every game week, like, I think the amount of essence that people will now yield will be maybe more in line with what people's expectations were pre-season, when people thought they could save up their essence over a season. I think MLS now makes that very possible, very likely, because the upper amounts of essence in the box wasn't really achievable. I didn't really see many people collecting it, if anyone ever. And having that now guaranteed for, 9 people in D1 limited, same with D2, and only for 5th, it seems, in D3 limited. And with rare, that sort of upper amount being available, even the 50 pluses you would probably factor into it, but even 100 you're getting that for 4 spots, for 2 spots, none in D3 there. But I was looking at this with my kind of classic team kind of as a lens across this, and my classics aren't that great, right? So this is like 1 decent team and 2 really naff teams. I think the best case scenario for like, and again, like, I would be looking to pick up between like, I don't know, 5 and 7 essence or something like that on an average game week potentially, like, or maybe even just 3. But that means like from before of pulling boxes and getting level ups, and I don't know. I don't think one box a game week is felt like an average of 3 essence, in other divisions that I kind of play with like very limited lineups with very limited strength. So I think that makes it a bit easier to maybe get a wee bit of a small foothold in it for having a bit of classic competition. The last MLS video I did actually, I do talk about that being a strength in this new MLS mode, and I think this announcement kind of further highlights that, in fact. Looking at Super Rare, and I must admit, with the content I was watching, I was saying to the members earlier that I did enjoy watching PSU's reaction to the Super Rare changes, because it's very much the same as what they've already done in Europe. It's just a bit more amplified. Like if we look at the streak thing, or the jackpot thing, the score required is pretty sizable. We're talking about 600 points at Super Rare, which I know you get captains and 20% and all the rest of it getting added on, but that's still a sizable score. 650 unique as well, and this has got to be with 5 in-season cards, so it's going to be quite a difficult thing to smash. And I know these numbers are maybe a bit more in exaggerated terms with also the in-season element coming into it, but my main problem with the last thing was Classic Super Rare is essentially going to be like that, where you need to have mega scores because of multi-entry on one leaderboard with so many competitive teams. So I found it kind of there's a wee bit of Schadenfreude going around on that one, because it's the same thing essentially, but this is just with money, and it's just a bit more unadulterated, where it's like you have to smash, But if you do, because it's the high roller table, there's going to be a lot going on. One thing I did want to say actually on the whole hot streaks thing is, like, because you do have multi-entry playing into your hand with this, like, especially if you are picking it up every game week, if you're able to unlock this at every step of the ladder, this is going to be really fun. This is going to be really good to try and play for and to win. But again, on the last couple of MLS videos we've done, this isn't a priority kind of situation. But what I do think is this is a great reward for form. One thing I often really enjoy doing on the channel is when we're scouting players, is like looking at their L5, and like we talk about it quite a lot when we're doing lineup building or when we're doing gallery reviews and looking at players in the market, is you can sometimes like see a guy's L5 coming. This guy's building a good L5, and like I think you can get a good sense of some players that are on form, and you might get some like stories that go along with people smashing this, where it's like, those 5 games that Almiron, didn't drop below 75, did 2 100s or something like that, and alongside a couple of clean sheets, or I hit the 5 streak and I got the big bonus, as well as in that time scooping up X, Y, and Z. So I do think this is a little bit more achievable than people maybe give it credit for. Because I think if you're really in the weeds with this division, and this is another thing as well that does come into the equation for this, is that the points do look quite big by European standards, right? But MLS traditionally, so if we look at the MLS scores from the very first match day of MLS 2024, and I think we'll kind of run through another couple of them, so it took me a while to find them, and you see the same kind of thing happening quite often, where if we use like Messi as the bar, like if Messi is par, essentially for like forwards, there is enough players round about here in other positions that would probably be paired with him, and other guys that are big hitters that have scored a little bit behind him. This is maybe a wee bit of a weaker week, because normally I would expect Messi to be bringing in 100s. One decisive here is certainly below par for him typically as well, but guys like Robert Taylor, Jordi Alba, Hani Mukhtar, these guys are all ringing in similar type scores. You've even got guys like Carlos Heel down here on 77, Wagner on 76, Galese in goals with 73. So I'd get you to 486 by my really bad calculations. Feel free to correct me on the maths on that one. And 486, like for no one hitting 100, right captain choice in Messi, and then like all your guys doing 70 or above. I don't think that's that wild for MLS, really, to be quite honest with you. You do need to get that combo, but there is, maybe with the goalkeeper, there's not much flexibility, because I wonder, can we filter? Yeah, we can, by position. Galese was, there was a few guys round about that. Maybe not quite as high as Galese, Celentano on a 70, Drake Callender 67. Drake Callender could have quite easily accompanied those Miami guys. So again, it's very feasible that getting around that 500 point score with all the bonuses, etc., that are going around. I've not even tried to factor in being on level 5 or anything like that. I just left all those numbers at 0. And I don't think it's that wild, because MLS does have those types of scores and likely combos of players that go together. I do believe Sorare will have looked at historical MLS, lineup scores to factor all of this in. I don't think they're just picking numbers out of thin air on this one. So I do think the hot streaks will be more achievable than people give it credit for, especially if you're paying attention to it, and especially once you've got to step 4 and 5. If you know, like, your defender's suspended or you've got a crap goalkeeper, it might be worth your while making a trade, or or doing something different. You'll be able to read the situation, and depending on where things sit in the market, maybe whatever fixes your problem can be bought on instant buy with market credits. It might just be cheap as chips. Maybe some of the money back here on the way helps buy you a guy that you wanted anyway, that then contributes to going from 4 to 5. There'll be a lot of good dynamics that come out of this, I think. But yeah, otherwise, wow, unique, 2 cards guaranteed and a wee bit of essence. But otherwise, the classic prize pool, I just think this changes your crafting strategy more than anything for card acquisition. And for in-season, it does look a little bit meh, doesn't it? It looks a little bit muted. In-season MLS super rare, again, I don't think the amounts are a bit naff, obviously, but I don't think it's out of kilter with what we've already seen them do in Europe, so I don't think there's any real shock or surprise there, really, other than the amounts. But for rare and limited in-season, I don't think it's that exciting. Like a bag of sand on the top for D1. D1 will be quite precious, it'll be quite hard to get into. Top 40 and top 10 in D3 for 10ers and 20s. Feels a bit meh, doesn't it? D3 feels a bit underloved, but again, I don't think people are expecting mad love for D3. The point is D1, we get it. But it's just where a bit of my focus is, because of what my journey on this potentially will be, because it's starting from a kind of tame classic position. I'm not going in there all guns blazing or anything, far from it. We also got an announcement this week on the J and the K League and how they're going to be running their special weekly as well. They're getting the same early access treatment as MLS in Europe as well. And again, there's essence and double card potential for that as well as a special weekly, special event, total cash. And that's pretty much all in the announcement here. Not too much to go on, but we have further details at least anyway for the 10th of February to get the early access on the go. The promotion runs to February the 21st, and the thing is happening game week 58. So it's just kind of brass taxes with that one. But we also got a new XP system update. Okay, now I've kind of went through this already with the members. They've got lots of media out there now kind of covering this, from their presentation video, their blog, the podcast on their YouTube channel. Lots of good stuff going on with this. Deep dive into the new system. Now, in essence, there's a lot of change going on here. At the moment, the way XP works, right, is if you get 3 training teams in, everyone in your gallery gets like 75 XP. The 3 training teams get triple XP based on a little equation of, like, the team's score, any multipliers they have, that sort of thing. And then the other way, and obviously you can have up to 6 training lineups at the moment, just depends how many cards you have. And anyone who plays in the competition gets XP depending on their score, their performance, the team's score, etc. Now with all of this, what's going to happen is you'll still get all of the in-game XP from the cards you're using. That's all there. But the only other way of attaining XP is going to be by winning it, is what this is going to explain to us, essentially. You can max out at 30,000 XP. We're going to see a change to the levels in a second. I'm quite certain 20,000 XP is the top amount for level 20. I might be wrong on that. If I am wrong, it's probably 30 XP. So this is like a full card 0 to 10 is going to be the maximum you can stash, similar to Essence, in your club. And yet they just explain how there's guaranteed amounts. The reward will be 500 XP. So it's a fixed amount of XP guaranteed, and you can't save up more than that amount to help you manage it. You'll get notifications and all the rest of it. There's a nice kind of new interface coming with this as well, and it's also going to help you display like the significance on the multipliers for your SO5 performance, which I think is a lovely detail. And we've been kind of crying out for this stuff to kind of highlight the benefit of collection bonus, the benefit of level 20, that sort of thing. And there's a cooldown period. Now, I don't think it explicitly says in this, we went through it already, but I don't think it explicitly says that this cooldown is only for when you've leveled someone up. So if I level up someone from from level 3 to level 4 by using XP that I've won, there will be a 2-week cooldown. What I don't think is explicitly explained here is if this guy just gets from level 3 to level 4 because he's playing football and he's in my teams, does the same cooldown still kick on? Because I don't want to be paying a cooldown every level up. I don't mind paying cooldowns for level ups that happen by manufacturing it with the XP, obviously, but it doesn't overly kind of say. So we've still got level ups, they're still going until it looks like February the 11th. So the time is ticking with that one. You've basically got a weekend to get them all used and rafted out with your club. When the new system goes live, your cards will retain their current XP bonus levels. XP level bonuses previously were on these increments will now be rounded up to the new percentage. So for example, level 13 will now become level 7. So that's lovely, lovely, lovely. The transition to the new system will begin. That's that strategy, by the way. If you've got lots of, you want odd numbers, like if you have limited power-ups and you've got cards that are like level 12s and 10s and all the rest of it, it makes sense to scatter them out and just get them onto odd numbers because they're all going to get rounded up. So there's a nice wee bit of strategy there. Training teams from game week 53 will be phased out. And this is the interface change we mentioned earlier on, so you can see the impact on your player's score from the different bonuses and all the rest of it. And then we've got the new division structure kind of payout. We still, by the way, have a 50% XP penalty whenever cards are being traded as well. But this is a new division structure. Super rare and unique are obviously going to a single division, but for limited and for rare, this is the new format, the new breakdown. And we've got until game week, does it tell us below this? Changes take effect starting game week 55. So by game week 53, 54, at point of recording, we're about to hit game week 51. You need to be in Division 1 in Rare. No two ways about it. In Division in Rare, Division 2 and 3, that will become the new Division 2, and D4 just changes to D3. Limited, it's D5 becomes D3, D3 and 4 become D2, and in Limited, if you're in D2, you're going to D1, baby. You're on the way up. So wee bit of a positive there. And then this is the threshold for promotion and relegation across limited and rare. 30-15 up and down, 30-15 down and down. So yeah, looking forward to that. Should be a nice new level of competition at rare. I think that is, like I said on that announcement when it kind of came out, I think they hit the sweet spot with rare. I was disappointed with super rare. And let's see how limited goes. I think that D3 might be a bit crowded, and for be seen the prize pools already, like it's maybe not going to be terribly exciting. But there's a lot of changes kind of in the offing here, a lot to take in. I think overall it's all positive. I don't think there's any real negatives here. I have heard some different opinions, of course, on the MLS stuff, like we've already mentioned, but I'm not completely, like, it's maybe not as exciting as people thought it was going to be. I can definitely accept that, but I don't think it's really that far out of line with what we've seen previously. MLS is down the food chain from La Liga and Bundesliga. That is confirmed. Essence over cards is something that I think is a test, like we said with MLS already. This is a little petri dish for Sorare to test things out. This is all subject to change by July for the summer update. So that's like halfway through the MLS season. This could all change if it doesn't work, if it's not working out well, or if it's not, anything that needs done, so subject to change as ever. But I think, like, for the most part, like, why not? Let's go for it. MLS is just as good a testing ground as anything else ahead of the new European season next year. And I think once you couple the win streak thing and the realistic ability to win it with the power that MLS cards normally generate, I don't think these are as bad as maybe previously thought, because the part of the problem with in-season and not getting to the top rewards is that sometimes it's just hyper competitive, and like you're not going to get, like, in limited D1, getting into the top 50 is solid, but you might still hit 500 points, 480 points, whatever it might be, and you're still going to collect that win streak. You're still going to be active in that. So I don't think it does look bad to read, just the amounts aren't that juicy, but when you've got something else running in tandem with it, like, I don't think it's the end of the world necessarily. I think it's quite positive, quite good. It doesn't make me really change my opinion. Like, I'm not going to run out and go buy hundreds of MLS cards. And I think, with the content I've made on the channel over the last week or so about MLS, I'll link those videos at the end of this one in case you want to check them out, of course. But I think that advice is very much still valid, and any strategies that you've been working with in that kind of vein, you've probably, don't want to say want to watch, but you don't really need to change direction. Everything will still be kind of going your way. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comment section down below. I hope you've enjoyed this one. On screen now is those other MLS videos I've made, as well as maybe some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more content like this. Stay out of trouble, and I will catch you on the next one.